I'm a 50-year-old man, and for the past 23 years, I've been married to Amy, who is 48. Together, we have 3 children, Rachel, 22, Jake, 19, and Ava, who is 17 but will soon turn 18. With our kids growing up, Rachel has already moved out to start her career after graduating from college. Jake stays in a dorm at his university, and Ava often hangs out at her friend's place. Like most couples, Amy and I have faced our shared challenges over the years. But nothing could have prepared me for the bombshell she dropped recently. One quiet afternoon, when the kids were away, she sat me down and revealed something I never saw coming. For the past 2 years, she had been having an affair with a younger coworker, a 27-year-old man named Matt. That alone was hard to process, but it wasn't even the worst part. Amy told me she wanted to take her relationship with Matt further. I was blindsided. The woman I had loved and trusted for over 2 decades had been deceiving me all that time. As she spoke, she tried to justify her actions, explaining that with the kids becoming more independent, she felt this was the right time to be honest with me. The words barely registered, as I struggled to comprehend the depth of her betrayal. Overcome with emotion, I broke down. Tears flooded my face as I begged her not to leave, pleaded for another chance for our marriage. I needed to understand how she could do this to me, to us. But her response cut me deeper than I ever imagined. She tried to comfort me, but her words only made things worse. She said she no longer loved me and couldn't keep pretending. She admitted she didn't want to waste any more time in a marriage that she felt was over. After about half an hour of sobbing uncontrollably, I started to regain some control over my emotions. It hit me like a punch to the gut. No matter how much I begged, it wasn't going to change anything. A whirlwind of emotions swirled inside me. Rage, pain, disbelief, and anger. But one thing became clear. I couldn't let myself stay in this state of pleading broken. Summoning every last bit of strength I had, I stood up, wiped my tears away, and told her to leave. I didn't want her in our house anymore. She looked shocked, probably surprised by my shift from desperation to firm resolve. Truth be told, I was surprised at myself too, but something inside me had snapped. I refused to accept this betrayal. She had already packed a duffel bag with some of her things, a clear sign she had been planning this for a while. Before leaving, she gave me a hesitant hug, but I didn't return it. I stood still, stiff as a board, unwilling to accept comfort from the person who had hurt me the most. The moment she walked out, the weight of reality hit me, like a ton of bricks. I collapsed onto the couch and cried for hours. The betrayal felt suffocating, and my world was crumbling irreparable. I stayed like that, lost and numb, until Ava came home. As soon as she saw me, she knew something was wrong. My swollen eyes and silent demeanor made her worry even more. She asked where her mother was. At first, I hesitated, but I knew I couldn't lie to her. I told her the truth. The look on her face mirrored the shock and pain I felt when Amy first confessed. Without a second thought, Ava grabbed her phone and called her siblings, telling them what happened and asking them to come home. She also reached out to my brother, Eric, who, even though he lived far away, immediately offered his support. Eric, 45, has always been someone I could rely on. Even though it was late, he made the trip to my house and stayed with me, offering a much-needed presence for both me and the kids. He temporarily moved in, helping to restore some sense of normalcy amid the chaos. A week has passed since Amy left, and Eric is still here, doing his best to keep everything together while we all try to process what's happened. My mental state has been fragile ever since Amy walked out the door. I never imagined I could feel so lost, so disoriented. Every morning, I wake up hoping this is just a nightmare, but each time, reality hits me all over again. The pain hasn't eased. I can barely find the strength to get out of bed, and even simple tasks feel impossible. Still, I try to stay strong for my kids, though I'm falling apart inside. I'm grateful for their support and for Eric's presence, but the weight of betrayal remains overwhelming. It's not just that she left. It's the fact that she deceived me for 2 years without me ever knowing. Then, a week after she left, I received an unexpected call from Amy. We hadn't spoken since the night she walked out, so I wasn't sure what to expect. Her voice was shaky, and she sounded upset as she asked about the kids. I kept my tone as neutral as I could and simply told her they were all here with me, not wanting her to hear any emotion in my voice. But then she broke down in tears, and despite everything, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. I knew I shouldn't care, yet a small part of me still did. Amy admitted that Matt had turned her down when she asked if she could move in with him after leaving our home. He made it clear he wasn't interested in anything serious and wanted to continue living his life freely. He even told her that her age, along with the fact that she had 3 children, made her someone he couldn't see a future with. Amy was crushed. She told me through her sobs that she had nowhere else to go and had been staying in a hotel for the past week. To make matters worse, our children had completely cut ties with her. They blocked her on social media and refused to speak to her. Desperate, she begged me to take her back, to let her come home, and to give our marriage another shot. For a moment, I almost felt sympathy, but then rage took over. How could she think I'd welcome her back after everything she had done? The audacity of it made my blood boil. I told her, without a hint of doubt, that there was no way I would allow her to return. She had made her choice, and now she needed to live with the consequences. She threw away our marriage for an affair, and now she was facing the fallout from her own actions. Before she could say anything else, I ended the call, turned off my phone, and collapsed into bed, emotionally exhausted. The next morning, when I turned my phone back on, I was met with a barrage of angry messages from Amy. She accused me of being selfish and of not considering her feelings. She even blamed me for turning the kids against her, which was far from the truth. It was their decision to cut her off, and Ava had been the one to tell me after it had already happened. It was clear Amy was trying to manipulate me, but I wasn't going to fall for it. I couldn't just erase what she had done, and I wasn't about to let her back into my life. I had every right to decide who stayed in my house, especially since it was legally mine. I wasn't being unfair or cruel. I was simply refusing to let her continue controlling me. She wanted to feel guilty, but I knew I was doing the right thing. What I needed was time to heal, to process everything, and to be there for my children. I couldn't allow her to come back whenever it suited her. She made her choice, and now she had to face the consequences. When Amy chose to leave me for someone else, I never thought she would try to come back. But when things didn't go her way, she expected me to take her back without hesitation. To be sure I wasn't acting out of pure anger or hurt, I reached out to others for advice. I needed different perspectives to ensure I wasn't being too harsh. The responses I received were overwhelming. So many people supported my decision, and their encouragement made me realize just how much Amy had manipulated me over the years. She made me second-guess myself and question my choices. Now, with the support of others, I could see things more clearly. If I had allowed her to return, I would have set myself up for a future filled with uncertainty and resentment. Days have passed since I made my decision, but Amy hasn't given up. She's tried everything: guilt trips, gaslighting, relentless apologies. She insists she made a huge mistake and is willing to do whatever it takes to fix things. But I can't comprehend how she expects me to forgive something so deep, so profound. This wasn't a momentary lapse. It was a 2-year betrayal. And the worst part? She still doesn't seem to fully understand the extent of the damage she's caused. Despite her desperate pleas, I know I can't go back. I don't think Amy will ever fully grasp the harm she's done. Over the past few days, I've been feeling a little better. Ava has been checking in on me regularly, and I truly appreciate that. I've made it clear to Amy that she shouldn't feel obligated to stay at home or take on extra responsibilities. She has her own life to live, and I don't want her to feel burdened by this situation. My brother, Eric, who's been staying with us, has been an incredible support. He's not the type to wear his emotions on his sleeve, but his practical help has been invaluable. Having him here has lightened some of the load, and I'm truly thankful for that. I know he'll eventually return to his own life, but right now, his presence has made a huge difference. On the legal front, I've made sure to take the necessary steps to keep the divorce moving forward without any unnecessary delays. Once I realized that Amy had nowhere else to turn and wasn't going to take the initiative to start the process herself, I knew it was on me to take action. She had been hoping for a way back into my life, but that was never going to happen. This whole ordeal has been mentally exhausting, and I'm not looking forward to what still lies ahead. But at least I can find some peace knowing that I did everything I could to save our marriage. What's happening now is a result of her decisions, not mine. One thing I am grateful for is that my kids are older now. I can't imagine having to deal with a custody battle in the midst of everything else. While it's hard to accept how things have ended, at least I don't have to fight over visitation rights. Amy was served with divorce papers, and her response was exactly what I anticipated: anger, resentment, and an endless stream of blame. She's been bombarding me with hateful messages, accusing me of ruining her life, and claiming that this is all just my way of getting revenge or having a little fun. She's even resorted to low blows, making comments about my age and my receding hairline. I'll admit, I haven't been in the best shape lately, so hearing those words stung a bit, but deep down, I know she's just projecting her own unhappiness onto me. She wanted excitement, something new, and now that everything has fallen apart, she's looking for someone to blame. I spent years ignoring the red flags in our relationship because I loved her, and now I feel foolish for not seeing them sooner. But now that she's about to become my ex-wife, I can finally see her for who she really is. There's still a small part of me that cares, and I hate admitting it. I guess that's the only reason I haven't completely cut her off yet. I know I need to, especially since her messages are becoming increasingly toxic, but I just haven't had the strength to sever all ties yet. I know, though, that it's inevitable. In a twist of irony, Amy has now found herself embroiled in drama with Matt, the man she risked everything for. She took to social media, venting about how Matt had strung her along for 2 years, only to dismiss her because he never saw a future with her. It didn't take long for some of his former flings to speak up, revealing that he'd been involved with multiple women at the office. This only confirmed what I'd suspected all along. Matt was never serious about her. A small part of me feels sympathy for Amy, but I can't ignore the fact that this is a direct result of her own choices. She threw away everything we had for a fleeting affair, and now she has nothing to show for it. It's hard not to see this as some form of karma. Despite everything, I'm handling things much better than I was in the beginning. We're now in the negotiation phase of divorce, and for the first time, I can look at Amy without feeling the same intense emotions I once did. I've become indifferent to her. She still tries to engage with me during meetings, but I keep my distance as much as possible. Her social media posts have only made it easier for me to distance myself. By airing her grievances about her failed relationship with Matt, she inadvertently provided all the proof I needed of her infidelity, saving me the trouble of gathering evidence myself. My kids still refuse to speak to her, and honestly, I can't blame them. We're all trying to move forward in our own way, and right now, keeping our distance from Amy is what works best for us. I'm in a much better place now than I was before, though I know the healing process is far from over. I'm considering therapy to help me work through everything. But for now, my focus is on navigating this divorce and taking the next steps toward rebuilding my life.